The big scuttlebutt with Indiana fans right now is Anthony Leal has to start. Anthony Leal must start. Anthony Leal has to start. Anthony Leal needs to start. Anthony Leal deserves to start. I don't know of any other adjectives I can pull out, but I'm like, gee whiz, people, do you all even know what positions these guys play? But it's great that he's having success. It's great for Indiana and Indiana fans that he's had some success, but don't forget that has come against the worst team in the Big Ten and one of the worst teams in the Big Ten.
Start ahead of who? Gabe Cupps?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what fans want. Yes.
I don't know if he has to start. I think
he's not a point guard, number one.
He has to play more than he played for the first half of the season when they had a team that has the issue that they have of not being able to make threes or not being interested in shooting them. He's a guy who can shoot the ball. He's got defensive liabilities, and he's still, when he plays against really good defenders, he's going to have a hard time getting loose and getting shots off. And I think he's also a guy that has to be more aggressive and looking to shoot. That was the problem I saw when he did get to play before, is he didn't look like a guy who was comfortable taking shots. He was willing to defer to other guys. So I think he needs to play more, whether he needs to start or not. I don't really think it matters. I mean, the collection of pieces they have, it isn't going to make that much of a difference. I look at the way they're going to, and they got 8 games to go. I mean, they might win 3 of the 8. What do you think?
I think that is the absolute tops. Someone asked me that question on responding to the show yesterday, and they said about going 7-1, and I'm like, 7-1. I said the odds of Indiana going 4-4 are astronomical, as in winning the lottery high. I said 3-8 would be an accomplishment. I'm thinking very possibly it's 2-6 that they finished the year out.
Ken Palm's got them going 3-5, although he doesn't have them favored in any game. They're not going to beat Purdue. Then they got 2 home games, Northwestern and Nebraska. Let's say they get one of those. At Penn State, we're all going to say they can't win because Penn State dominated them, but Penn State's not that good. I'll say that's a loss. That's 1-3. Come home in Wisconsin, that's 1-4. At Maryland, 1-5. At Minnesota, 1-6. Michigan State at home, 2-6. I mean, 3-5, they're going to be doing good. They are.
I agree. I absolutely agree. Kel'el Ware, he's been battling through injuries, and then when he tweaked that knee the other night, that sent lightning bolts through Hoosier Nation. And I saw it, and I was like, I cringed because I saw that knee move, and I'm like, oh, that's not how you want to see it happen. But whether he plays or not on Saturday is probably going to be up in the air.
Isn't Mike Woodson, is he talking today or tomorrow?
Yeah, and he gave a response a little bit ago about that.
Okay.
And I'm trying to get it pulled back up on whether or not on what he said. But he's not – I would imagine that he's not going to give that answer just because of gamesmanship, if anything else.
Good luck if they go into West Lafayette without Kel'el Ware. Who's going to guard Edey then?
Yeah, that's
Walker, I guess. You can't be Peyton Sparks.
Well, I mean, put the beef on him, baby. Hack a shack. But he's too good of a free throw shooter. You can't do that.
Yeah, I would go with a quicker, more mobile guy, and the Walker would be my choice. That's who I'd go with.
Mike Woodson did say that Kel'el Ware had yesterday off, and he did go through treatment after his awkward movement on the fast break at the end of that deal against Ohio State in Tuesdays. Indiana will know more about his status after today's practice, which is what I expected. Like I said, they're not going to say either way. So, Ruby. Honey, are you mad at your man? But yeah, they absolutely have to have a Kel'el Ware, and if he's not healthy, that adds to the problem for Indiana, because Purdue is not only do you have Zach Edey, but you have a lot of guys around him that are very talented. You've got several guys that can shoot from the perimeter, whether that is Braden Smith, whether that is Fletcher Lawyer, whether that is Lance Jones, whether that is Mason Gillis. They've got so many guys that they can bring in, and Indiana is going to have to stay out of foul trouble up there as well. And that guarding Zach Edey and Mackey is going to be difficult. It's going to be loud. Purdue wants revenge because they got swept by Indiana last year and embarrassed at Mackey. And so they've already delivered a big dose of that back to Indiana at the Hoosier at Simon Scott Assembly Hall earlier, but they want another one. And I don't think they want to just beat Indiana. They want to beat them badly.
Do you? Because Indiana swept them last year and made a big deal over it?
Yeah.
Could be. I don't know. I don't know if it really matters. They're so much better. And Indiana has no answers for Edey. That the line's going to be probably what, about 16, 15?
You know, I was funny. I was guessing. I'm like, what would it take for me to bet that game? Because I'm like thinking, I was thinking it was going to be 14. I'm like,
and Tom has 19.
Points.
19.
Wow.
Bart Torvik has, yeah. Would you take Indiana 19? Bart Torvik has 21, buddy. Would you take Indiana in 20?
No, not at Mackey. Not at Mackey, and not with – even if Kel'el Ware plays, I don't know how he would be completely healthy. And even if he is healthy – all right, so it has to be Renew guarding Zach Edey, right? Among the starters. What's Purdue going to do with Kel'el Ware? That's a question. What I can't remember.
I don't think they're that
last time. They're not. Well, obviously, I was going to say I can't remember what they did at Simon Scott Assembly Hall, but it worked. It was good enough. Indiana just doesn't have enough to compete with what Purdue has around Zach Edey. Zach Edey's going to get what Zach Edey's going to get. You're not stopping it. It's all the other things that Purdue brings.
At home in 1, 2, 3, 4, I think five Big Ten games at home. Purdue has only won one by 20 or more. That was against Michigan. So I don't know. I mean, I think the point spread will probably be about 17 or 18. Who knows? It might be affected by what Vegas can find out about what Kel'el Ware status is. For me, Indiana's, it's got to be, the judgment has to be on how hard they compete and play hard. That was the difference in the Ohio State game. I thought in the second half that Galloway, Renew, and Leal decided that they weren't going to lose that game. They weren't going to get embarrassed. What were they down by? 18 points? And that was a change.
18-point deficit.
You had guys who decided they were tired of getting embarrassed. And the way they played against Penn State was embarrassing. It really was. They didn't compete, and that's on the coaches for sure, because it's their job. But it's also on the players, man. You can't play with that little energy or pride and get beat like that by the worst team in the Big Ten without its best player and a first-year coach rebuilding a program at home. That's embarrassing. And you know, can they sustain a little bit more of that drive over the last 7 games or 8 games? Well, they better, or they'll get embarrassed some more.